Hello, everybody. It's Jason from MAPsignals.com. Listen, how do we find the best ETFs to buy now? I'm going to go over that in this video. Have you ever heard that expression, it's better than a stick in the eye? Well, I was actually in my garden yesterday and I got a stick in the eye. So that's why I look like this. But hey, don't feel bad for me because you should see the plant. But it's just a subtle reminder that I should stick to what I'm good at, which is data and analytics and stocks. And that's how we're going to find the best oversold ETFs to buy for March 2022. Let's get to it. So the first thing you should know is years ago, I tried trading by instinct, gut, and emotion, and I failed miserably. So I became a data convert. That's all I do. I look at quantitative cold hard numbers to make my determinations for potential investments for the long term. That's what we're going to do right now. So I went over to our MAPsignals.com portal and I just check in with some basic looks at the market to see what kind of setup we got. And right now, this is our big money index. This is where the money's flowing in and out of the market. We see a lot of choppy action. It's been falling as of late. It gets a bump and I expect it to fall again with some recent selling that we're seeing. But if we wanted to actually see what that selling looks like, let's just scroll down here to our big money buys and sells for stocks. You can see we're getting big selling days. They typically line up with troughs recently. Now, obviously, the market's in a downtrend recently, and we're seeing even more heavy selling as of late. A little tongue-tied there. Now, let's look at ETFs. Now, this is where it really gets interesting. You can see immense selling recently. Now, the last time we saw selling like this was a little something called the pandemic. That marked the low. You can see the trough there. And you can see typically when we get a ton of ETF selling, it lines up with troughs there, and there. Going back all the way to 2005, take a look. You can see, look at this. This is the 2008 and subsequent 9 great financial crisis. You saw a ton of selling right near a trough. You get it here. You get it here, you get it here. And look, I can just remove the buy so we can see how those sells line up perfectly. Boom, there, trough, boom, trough. You get the picture. Right now, we're seeing immense selling in ETFs. I believe it's unsustainable. I believe now is a great opportunity to go diving for oversold ETFs. So how do we find those? I'm glad you asked. There are literally thousands of ETFs that trade around the world and even thousands right here in the USA. But what we do at MAPsignals is we try and distill down which ones can be easily traded by big institutions, pension funds, hedge funds, asset managers, things like that. And lo and behold, you get a much smaller list. What we do is we filter through to find out the ones that can easily be traded by big institutional accounts. And you'll see here on your screen, we have an output of about 150 ETFs, and they're ranked from top to bottom based on their constituents. So let me just take you through. The first one is FTXN, the First Trust NASDAQ Oil and Gas ETF. It's trading yesterday's close at $23.83. It's got an overall score of 76.4, a technical score of 85.8, and a fundamental score of 63.1. So out of 100, it's really strong technically. It's right around upper 2/3 fundamentals. Now, the number of constituents that score help tell us what quality this score of the ETF is. So at 96%, that means 96% of the stocks in the ETF are able to give us a score. So we have a good idea. Right at the top, you can see, the top 7 or so ETFs, they're all energy. Look at this. You got Vanguard Energy ETF, the SPDR, XLE, you got XOP, the Oil and Gas Exploration, First Trust Energy, et cetera, et cetera. Next up is financials and dividends. So basically a lot of money has been flowing into energy and financials, rising them to the top of the heap. But those aren't oversold. For that, we got to scroll all the way to the bottom. So we're looking at all of our ETFs ranked right here. Very soon, there's going to be an ETF module to allow you to look yourself. But down here in this red area is where we're going to find our ETFs. But I'm going to show you we have an easy filtering way to do it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to filter out things like this guy, this 22%. Well, that's not really helping us if only 22% of the stocks are scoring. I'm going to look for strong fundamentals, and I'm going to look for weak technicals. That means stocks in the ETFs or the ETFs themselves have been punished and sold down, but they have really strong, fundamentally sound companies. So let's dig into that. So check it out. I put all these ETFs into an Excel spreadsheet over here. Okay, you should see that on your screen now. We got all those same ETFs I just showed you. So to make things easy, we're going to filter out ones that don't have a lot of stocks that score. So let's get rid of anything that has 70% or less than 70% of their stock scoring. Get rid of those. Let's look for only strong fundamentals. I want to see greater than 60%. So we got a lot of stock scoring and a lot of them are strong. And then let's get rid of the technically strong stuff. I only want to see stuff that's punished. Less than 50%. Look at this. We got our list of oversold ETFs. And in here, I'm going to pick 5 and go through them in just a moment. But look, very weak technicals overall, strong fundamentals, and you get a lot of stocks in the ETFs that score. So let's get through to our first ETF. Hey, and don't forget, if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. It really helps us grow this channel and bring you more cool stuff like this. So let's get to our first ETF. First up, dun dun dun, is XLY. This is the Consumer Discretionary Select Sector Spider Fund, XLY. It is basically tracking the entire discretionary sector. Right away, you can see we had some good big money buying, these green signals running up right to November, and then boom, we all got rocked by interest rate hike fears, inflation fears, and now, of course, Russia-Ukraine tensions boiling over. But this thing, pulling back, has some phenomenal stocks in it. Stocks you've definitely heard of, like Amazon, Tesla, and Nike. Let's just take a look at Tesla, and that's just to name a few in here. Okay, Tesla, again, we can see a similar pattern, a big run-up of buying, a nice healthy pullback, but you know, I probably don't need to tell you what this looks like for many years. You see that big run up. A lot of people, institutions, hedge funds, pension funds been buying that stock. And when you see the red, it's been an opportunity. Look at these, red. Wish I bought it there. Wish I bought it there. This thing has been a top 20 stock many times, 11 times. It's up 8,431% since the first time it appeared in 2013. If I could go back and change one thing, I'd change this. I wish I had more money to invest in the great financial crisis in 2008, 2009. When sentiment was low, pessimism was high, and prices were as low as they've ever been for years, was a prime opportune time to buy great stocks at a discount. That is why we're looking at oversold opportunities today, especially with everything going on in Russia, war, energy prices are high, inflation fears, all this negativity is actually an opportunity. So let's just get right into some of those. Next up on our list of oversold ETFs is VGT. This is a Vanguard ETF. It is the Vanguard Information Technology ETF. It's a wrapped ETF around a bunch of technology stocks, many of which you know. I'll get into those in just a second. But look here, when you get a big dumping sell signal on a fundamentally strong ETF, it's usually a time to buy. Boom, we got it here. The payoff isn't always immediate, but oftentimes it is. Look back over here in March of 2021. You see that. We can go back even further and start looking. You see a similar pattern, and look at all this big money buying along the way. It tends to lift it higher. And when you get this red on fundamentally strong stuff, it's a good time to buy. This thing holds phenomenal stocks. I say phenomenal a lot, but really this is the most phenomenal of all. It holds NVIDIA. It also holds Apple and Microsoft. But let's just look at NVIDIA here, okay? Look at all this big money buying through last year. It peaked in November like a lot of stuff. We got that interest rate, inflation woes, boom, the thing got cratered. It just released some phenomenal earnings, but really look at the big picture here, people. Just keep going back. I mean, that is stunning. Look how the big money buying is lifting it, and the red usually are opportunities to buy, and we have some red here. I want to show you another module that's under development, and this is our map view module. So for those of you who subscribe, you'll see Sunday we get a report. This is going to give you everything, the score of the stock. We are converting these into percentage, so let's not look at those real quick, but you get a description of the company, you get all the signals when it appears, you get the big money buying on the left, the top 20 report on the right, and down here you get our ratings of how our fundamentals are good. Look at all this stuff. Good, 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 great, great. It's a big market cap, less risk. You get the technicals, poor technicals. So what does that tell us? The stock is probably close to being oversold. So, subscribers can head on over to MAPsignals.com, and soon this module will be available to them. But for those of you who want more information, of course, head on over and check it out. But you don't need this stuff, because I'm going to show you the next oversold ETF for the month of March. And for the number 3 best oversold ETF in the month of March, we are looking at the iShares Home Construction ETF, ITB. Let's dig a little deeper. And here we have it, the iShares Home Construction ETF. Again, big money buying. It peaked out. The red has indicated troughs are good opportunities to buy back here in July and in June of 21. We got big money buying into November and into December, and then everything fell off with the current state of affairs. We got a lot of red. So let's just go back. Let's look back over time. Similar pattern. ETF buying, red opportunity in November of 20. Again in November of 20. Big money buying, a lift. Opportunity in June of 21, again July of 21, what we just talked about. So ITB holds some pretty awesome stocks. There's DHI, Pulte Homes, PHM, and Home Depot, which I personally own. Let's check out DHI over here in our portal already. We already had it teed up there. Okay, similar pattern. You got that buying, red trough, buying. Let's look back over time. This thing is a monster over time. D.H. Horton has been a top 20 stock many, many times over the years, going back to 2002. A quick check-in says it's up 952% after the 47 times it's been on there since December of 01. Let's just check that map view module again, see if we can get a good picture of its fundamentals. See right here, it's a home building company in the US. Tells you all about it. You get your signals, you get those charts again. Again, this module's coming out. The thing is strong, it's good. So my database was just working there. 1-year sales growth, 3-year sales growth, great, great, good, great, great. Fundamentally, it's just phenomenal. Technically, it's really poor, which means it's oversold. So let's take advantage. So for our 3rd best oversold ETF for the month of March, I might be cheating a little because I've referenced this one a lot over the past few months. It is the iShares Philex Semiconductor ETF. It's essentially an index of semiconductor stocks. Phenomenal. Semiconductors are in everything we use, need. They're in very short supply right now. The demand is going to be high for a long time. Let's check out some of the awesome stocks under the hood and a little bit about the ETF itself. So here we are in the portal. Again, we saw some big money buying leading up to the end of last year. Everything fell down. The red, generally speaking, is an opportunity to buy. Let's just explode this out. You're going to start seeing a lot of the same patterns here, a lot of buying. When it troughs was a good opportunity to buy. Now, look, the SOXX holds just great businesses. Don't forget, stocks are businesses, right? It holds Qualcomm, AMD, and Lam Research, which I also own Lam Research. Let's just look at Qualcomm. Also own Qualcomm. It's a great stock, okay? Check it out. We saw big money buying, a big lift in the end of last year. It's been choppy ever since, hasn't fallen back as much as this stuff, but look at this red we saw in October. Again, that tends to be an opportunity. Let's look long term. I mean, this thing has had ample opportunities to buy. It's pulling back. It has been a top 20 stock. Let's see. 52 times, up 1,820% since the first time, way back when in our back test in 1999. Qualcomm, great stock, held in SOXX. It's pulling back. Everybody needs semiconductors. You know it, I know it. Let's move on. So we made it, finally arriving at number 5 of our best oversold ETFs for the month of March. I'm going to give that to you, but I just wanted to let you know, if you stay tuned to the end of this video, watch to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus ETF for you to pick through, dig over, and consider. But that's only if you watch till the end. So for now, number 5 is SKYY, the First Trust Cloud Computing ETF. Holds some phenomenal companies. Let's dig into the details. Our number 5 on the list, SKYY, the First Trust Cloud Computing ETF. Look, cloud computing, you need it, I need it. It's not going anywhere. You know it and I know it. I am filming this right now on the cloud. The database that you're looking at is hosted on the cloud. You're watching this video on the cloud. Demand is only going to go up. So when you see red like this, it might just be an opportunity, right? These troughs have been great opportunities to buy. There might be some market volatility with the unknown events coming up, but long term, this is a great ETF. It holds terrific companies like Arista Networks, a networking company, Google, which I own. You all know about Google, and Salesforce.com. Let's just look at Google. Why? Because if there's one thing, whenever you see red on this stock, you means you should probably be buying with both hands here. Check this out. Anytime there's red, the thing legs higher. It's a leader. It's a phenomenal company. It's been a top 20 company since January of 2005, up 2,600% since. If I dug into the fundamentals individually, you would know it's a great company. It's got an 87.5% fundamental score. Technically, it's weaker than usual. It's on a pullback along with the rest of Sky. I'm liking it for the long term. There you have it, the 5 best oversold ETFs for the month of March. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end. I'm going to give you a little bonus one, but I just wanted to mention, if you like what you see, again, please like and subscribe. It helps us grow this channel. But more importantly, if you like insights like this, make sure there are going to be links below. Check out our video on the best oversold stocks for the month of March. You'll see a link there. And also our Big Money Insights weekly. They come out Sundays. You're going to get market insights, data, and analytics like you just won't see anywhere else. Be sure to check those out. So here we go. Your bonus oversold ETF for the month of March. Here we go. Our bonus ETF is the First Trust Rising Dividend Achievers ETF. It's sort of a 2-in-1. You're going to get a collection of phenomenal stocks, but also ones that are focused on growing their dividends year after year. And in this uncertain environment about rates and all that stuff, geopolitical events, inflation, holding dividends is a great place to find some stability, hopefully. So again, big money buying throughout the year. We got a big red dip. Let's look at it over the longer run. This thing has had quite a run of late. It holds really just gems of companies such as ADM, Archer Daniels Midland, MasterCard, and AMAT. So let's just look at ADM. This thing has seen a load of buying recently as there's inflation in agricultural prices and supply issues that are now even going to get complicated by this Russia-Ukraine skirmish here. A lot of big money buying. Again, red seems like a buying opportunity, but this thing is trending higher and it does rank really well in terms of fundamentals, 75%. Technically, it's strong, so this is not a deep discount stock. And there you have it, Archer Daniels Midland. So there you have it. MAPsignals is a place where we think market data is beautiful, and we look at everything through the lens of big money buying and selling, unusual institutional volumes, and we lay it all out in data. If you like what you see, follow us, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye.